Yes, good afternoon to everybody. Welcome to the today class. That is the transfer of property law, and which is a second year, first semester. That is a third semester course, and I'm sure that you are hearing me, so that I could have to go further. Yes, participants are there joining one after another. Yes, if you are hearing me, that what I posted, you can read it, so that I could continue it. Yes, anyone? Unmute, I can
Yes, sir.
read. Yes, very good, very good. I heard the sound. Thank you very much, Jai Bharati, that you read it. That is a good afternoon that which I put it over there. Yes, that is the salutation. Then we'll come to the, if you happen to see the syllabus that we covered, the vested interest in the last class, and in this class we will see the contingent interest. Then if the time is left over there, then we can throw light on the transfer to unborn person. So let us see now the contingent interest. Yes, anything that you want to say that you can say now, or shall I proceed? Say anything. Do you want to say anything, or shall I proceed?
Sir, proceeds.
Very good, very good. So it is a contingent interest that we will study in this class. The Transfer of Property Act deals with the two kinds of interest that we said earlier also, vested interest and contingent interest. And vested interest to be distinguished from the contingent interest. When an interest is vested, the transfer is complete. But when the interest is contingent, the transfer depends upon the condition precedent. So whatever the condition precedent would be there, and that would be followed, then only they can say there is a contingent. And when the contingent is fulfilled, the transfer takes effect and the interest becomes vested. So once the condition is fulfilled over there, then it becomes the vested interest will start over there. So that is the thing which where the vested interest comes when the contingent interest condition is fulfilled. Yes, definition of the contingent interest, let us see. In the section 21 of defines contingent interest as follows, where on a transfer of property, an interest there is created in favor of a person to take effect only on the happening of a specified uncertain event, or if a specified uncertain event, both the things there, specified uncertain event, or if a specified uncertain event and event shall not happen. So one is happen, another is not happen. Such person thereby requires a contingent interest in the property. Such interest becomes a vested interest in the former case on the happening of the event. In the later, when the happening, the event becomes impossible. So when it becomes an impossible over there, then it is a contingent interest. At that instance, the transfer may not be the valid transfer. Let us see that how it cannot be valid. What are the exceptions to this? So whereas exception where under the transfer of property a person becomes entitled to an interest therein upon attaining the particular age, and the transfer also gives him absolutely in the income to arise from such interest before he reaches that age, or directs the income or so much thereof as may be necessary to be applied for his benefit. Such interest is not contingent. Now we will see that which is contingent interest, which is not contingent interest by citation of the illustration or by giving the illustration. Yes, here is we will say illustration. X is a person, bequeathed means past, he did it, his property, that is estate to Y. Means X bequeathed the estate to Y until he shall marry to Z. Until he shall marry to Z, that is the condition. Suppose once he marry, then the bequeath property will be come to him, that is the Y. So Y's interest in the bequeath is contingent. So when the Y will get the contingent, condition is that when Y will marry to Z. Yes. So that is the contingent thing. So Y's interest in the bequeath is contingent because it depends upon a condition precedent, that is a marriage of Y. The first one, the marriage of Y should have to be there. That is a precedent. Then only the bequeath property comes to him. So that is the precedent. Precedent means comes in the beginning. The condition precedent, which should be followed over there, there is a marriage of Y with Z. An event has no proprietary interest in the estate and cannot alienate it. So An event has no proprietary right until unless that event will not take place. So he will not have any proprietary interest, means he is not the owner of the property and he cannot alienate also. Say a person can only alienate at the time when he is the owner of the property. Yes? Anyone can repeat what I said? Yes? Anyone can repeat what I said? Chepala.
A person alienate అది ఇంగ్లీష్ లో
చెప్పాలి అదే కదా గొప్పతనం. ఏ పర్సన్ ఏ పర్సన్ కెనాట్ ఎలియనేట్ ద ప్రాపర్టీ అన్లెస్ హీఈస్ ద ఓనర్ ఆఫ్ ది ప్రాపర్టీ. ఇస్ ఇట్ క్లియర్? That means he should be the owner of the property, then only that he will get the right to alienate. That is the point which I want to make it clear. Yes. So, but as soon as Y marries Z with Z, so here the condition means Y marries with the Z, his contingent interest became a vested interest. See, once the condition is fulfilled, what is the condition here? Anyone?
వై వై జెడ్ ని మ్యారేజ్ చేసుకోవడం.
That is the condition over there. Why should I have to marry the Z? Then the condition will be fulfilled. Once the condition is fulfilled, then the estate will be, he is the owner of the estate, means at that time vested interest will come over there automatically when condition is fulfilled. So let us see the another example. For example, assume there is a stipulation that A's property is to be transferred to C in case A and B die before the age of 18. So now the condition there, either to happen or not to happen. Assume there is a stipulation that means condition that A's property is to be transferred to C. Okay, A is having some property, either movable or immovable, whatever it may be, the property is having and is to be transferred to C. In case, what is the condition? In case A and B die. So if A and B die before the age of 18, then he can be a property is to be transferred. In case A and B die before the age of 18, at that time, in such a case, C has the contingent interest in the property until A and B dies. So the contingent interest is until A and B died, then only that C will get the property. And number one, that is until die under the age of 18. So this another point is under the age of 18, they should have to die. So an interest is contingent when some contingency is to be happen before the person is qualified to take the possession of the property. So before a person is going to take the possession of the property, then one condition should be fulfilled over there. If the condition is fulfilled over there, then the contingent interest becomes a vested interest. So that is the section 21 clearly says. So let us see the section 22, what it says regarding this. So where the on transfer of property, an interest there is created in favor of such members only if a class or shall attain a particular age. Such interest does not vest in any member of the class who has not attained the age. Suppose if they give the particular age factor is there, if any person who will not attain the age, naturally he will be disqualified. So that is what is stated in the section 22. Now we will see what is the section 23 says. Section 23 says transfer contingent on happening of a specified uncertain event. So there is a clearly said when an uncertain event it should have to happen. So now let us see where a transfer of property an interest there is to be accrued to a specified person if a specified uncertain event shall happen. So the specified uncertain will shall happen, then only the specified person will get the property. And no time is mentioned for the occurrence. No time is not mentioned over there for the occurrence of that event. If the interest fails unless such event happens before or at the same time as the immediate or precedent interest ceases to exist. So one thing is very much clear. Some condition should be fulfilled. If that condition is there, then the contingent interest becomes a vested interest. And a specified uncertain event should have to happen. Yes, it will be there. Then only this will come into the play. Means section 23 will come into the play. So now let us see what is section 24 says. See, in overall, what I want to say is, in all the section they will say, one condition should be there. That condition should be fulfilled or not fulfilled. What is the stipulation? If the stipulation should be there, fulfilled, then only we will get the vested interest. If it is not fulfilled, naturally the contract will be void. The transaction will be void because the condition is not fulfilled over there. Even it becomes a void also if it becomes impossible. Yes, and now let us see the illustration how it can be said. What the thing is given over there. So A transfer the property to B, okay, for life. So some property, any property, movable or immovable property, A is the owner of the property, then only he can transfer the property. Yes, A transfer the property to B for life. Whose life? For B's life. And after his death to C, then after the death of the B, then the property goes to devolve upon C. Yes, devolves death to C and D equally to be divided between them. So they say after the death of the B, then the property will be equally distributed to C and E. C and D, the two person equally distributed, divided between them, or to the surveyor of them. Suppose if D dies, then to the C surveyed. If the C dies, then the surveyor is D. So any one of them who surveys between the C and D will get the property. Yes, that is the same thing. Surveyor of them, C dies during the lifetime of B. If the C dies during the lifetime of B, D survives. D survives the B. At B's death, the property passes to D. At that instant, the whole property will go to the D because C died. So that is the thing which is there. Is it clear for this example? Can anybody will read the illustration? Unmute and read. Illustration, which is there on the screen.
Illustration. A transfers A transfers property to B for life and after his death to C and D equally to be divided between them or to the survivor of them. C dies during the lifetime of D. B survives B. D survives B. At B's death, the property passes to D.
At that instance, suppose here one can give the property to one survive. Okay. After the survival, sorry, for life. So after the his life is there and his death is there, they will say between the two members there is a C and D. Suppose if the both C and D dies, then what will happen?
ఇన్హెరిట్స్కి వెళ్తుంది ఎవరు లేకుంటే రిటర్న్ బీకి వస్తుంది.
See, for the B for life అని చెప్పాడు. ఓకే, ఫర్ లైఫ్ వరకే ఉంటుంది. ఎప్పుడు ఆఫ్టర్ హిస్ డెత్ టు సి, ఎవరి బి లైఫ్ తర్వాత డెత్ టు సి అండ్ ఏ అంటది. ఇప్పుడు సి లేడు, డి లేదు, ప్రాపర్టీ ఎటు పోతుంది?
సి అండ్ డి హెరిట్స్కి వెళ్తుంది. ఇన్హెరిట్స్.
Suppose if it is clearly mentioned over there, then it will goes there. Suppose if they don't have heirs, then property will revert back to the A.
ఎస్ సార్.
Property will revert back to the A. Yeah, that is the. Suppose A dies. Meanwhile,
ఏ ఇన్హెరిట్స్కి.
A's heirs will get the property. So whatever the thing is there, contingent interest in the sense one condition should be fulfilled. Suppose if that conditions becomes impossible, then naturally the contract, the transfer is void, we can say in one way, in another way, unless the context requires. That is another point. So let us see. Yeah.
కండిషన్ బట్టి హెరిట్స్కి వెళ్తుందా లేదా అనేది కండిషన్ బట్టి తెలుస్తుంది.
సపోజ్ షిప్ అది తిరిగి మంచిగా సేఫ్ సైడ్ గా వస్తే నీకు ఇస్తా ప్రాపర్టీ అంటారు. సపోజ్ షిప్ తిరిగి రాకుండా షిప్ డ్రోన్ అయిపోయింది అనుకుందాం, అది రాలే కదా, ఇంపాసిబుల్ అయిందా, అప్పుడు ప్రాపర్టీ పోతుందా?
రాదు సార్,
రాదు. సపోజ్ షిప్ రాకపోతే నేను ఇస్తాను అంటాడు, అప్పుడు షిప్ డ్రోన్ అయింది అనుకుందాం,
ఎవడు ఇస్తాడు?
సో నౌ ద క్వశ్చన్, ఇన్ సమ్ కేసెస్ దే ఆర్ సపోజ్ టు బి రాకపోతే అన్నాడు అంతే. రాకపోతే అంటే కూడా అది డ్రోన్ అయినప్పుడే రానట్టే కదా.
ఏ విధంగా రాకపోయినా రాకపోతేనే.
సో సమ్ టైమ్స్ నో ఇట్ విల్ బి యాక్సెప్టెడ్, ఇన్ సమ్ టైమ్స్ the transfer is void. So it depends upon the context. We can see how a transfer will take place. Now let us see the characteristic of contingent interest. అసలు దీని క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్ ఏంటి కాంటింజెంట్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్? సో నెంబర్ వన్, a contingent interest is solely depending upon the fulfillment of a condition. సో కాంటింజెంట్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఏమిటది? సోల్లీ ఏంటిది? డిపెండింగ్, దేని మీద ఆధారపడి ఉంటుంది? ఒక కండిషన్ ఫుల్ఫిల్మెంట్ అయిందా కాలేదా. అయితే కండిషన్ అనేది షిప్ తిరిగి వస్తే కూడా పెట్టుకోవచ్చు సేఫ్గా. మళ్ళీ కండిషన్ అని చెప్తే షిప్ రాకపోతే కూడా పెట్టుకోవచ్చు. సో ఇన్ ద బోత్ ద కేసెస్ ద కండిషన్ షుడ్ బి ఫుల్ఫిల్డ్. ఇస్ ఇట్ క్లియర్?
ఎస్ సార్.
ఇప్పుడు ఏమంటాడు, అరే సి రాకపోతే నీకు నేను మొత్తం అన్నం బీకి నీకు పెడతా, బీకి పెడతా. ఎవరు? సి రాకపోతే. మరి రాకపోతే అన్నం పెడతా అంటే ఎన్ని రోజులు? వారాలు రాకపోతేనా?
ఒక టైం అనేది స్పెసిఫై చేయలేదు.
అన్నం పెట్టేది పూటకు పెడతారు కదండి అన్నం.
అవును సార్.
అన్నం ఎప్పుడు పెడతారు? పూట. పూట అంటే ఐదర్ మార్నింగ్ బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్ అనుకోండి, లంచ్ అనుకోండి, డిన్నర్ అనుకోండి. జనరల్లీ డిన్నర్ ఓకే, లెట్ వి బిగిన్ విత్ 6 to 8 or 9 అట్ ద మోస్ట్. అప్పటి వరకే కదా. అరే వాడు రాకపోతే నీకు అన్నం పెడతా అన్నాడు అనుకోండి, మధ్యాహ్నం వాడు చెప్పిండు, ఏది 12 గంటలకు చెప్పిండు అనుకుందా కాసేపు. Suppose if he says that 12 o'clock that suppose C will not turn, then I will give this food to B. Who said? A said. C చచ్చిపోయిండు. Now you tell me. రానట్టే కదండి చచ్చిపోతే అంటే.
అదే అవును సార్.
Then he has to supposed to fulfill it. రాకపోతే చచ్చిపోతే అని కూడా అది రాకపోతే కదా చచ్చిపోయిందంటే. సో ఇన్ ఎనీవే రాకపోతే అన్నప్పుడు మాత్రం అది పెట్టాలి. సరే సేఫ్ గా తిరిగిస్తే నీకు పెట్టాను అన్నాడు అనుకోండి, వాడు తిరిగి వచ్చింది అనుకోండి, పెట్టాడు. సేఫ్ గా తిరిగి వస్తే, అప్పుడే సేఫ్ గా తిరిగి వస్తే నీకు పెడతా, వాడు తిరిగి వచ్చిండు, పెడతాడు. సపోజ్ సేఫ్ గా తిరిగి వచ్చి చచ్చిపోయింది అనుకోండి, ఇప్పుడు
అంటే తిరిగి వస్తే పెడతా అన్నప్పుడు చచ్చిపోతే పెట్టాడు.
మరి కాంట్రాక్ట్ వైడ్ అయ్యి కదండి అక్కడ, అది ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ వైడ్ అయినట్టే కదా, ఇంపాసిబుల్ అయింది కదా అది. Yes, let us see that how we can make it in the further classes. You could know it. So now the second characteristic is if the transferee dies before obtaining the possession. ఇక్కడ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఎవరండి?
ప్రాపర్టీ తీసుకునే వ్యక్తి.
The person that is going to receive the property. Yes, if the transfer is చచ్చిపోయింది అనుకుందాం, బిఫోర్ అప్టైనింగ్, ఏది పొజిషన్ తీసుకోముందే, the contingent interest fails and property revert to transfer. మనం అక్కడ పైన ఏం చెప్పాము, వాళ్ళకి హెయిర్స్ ఉంటే హెయిర్స్ పోతుంది అన్నామా లేదా?
అవును సార్, ఇక్కడ మాత్రం వెళ్ళదు.
పాయింట్ ఏంటంటే కాంటింజెంట్ లో మాత్రం పోదు, అదే వెస్టెడ్ లో పోతుంది మళ్ళీ.
అవును సార్.
సో కాబట్టి వెస్టెడ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అనేది ట్రాన్స్ఫరబుల్, హెరిటబుల్. కాంటింజెంట్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అనేది నాట్ ట్రాన్స్ఫరబుల్, నాట్ హెరిటబుల్. అయితే కొన్ని చోట్ల మాత్రం హెరిటబుల్ అవుతుంది. We will see that in some on what occasions we can make it out. Subject to the situations. Let us see. If the transferee dies before the obtaining a position, okay, position he did not get it. The contingent interest fails and property revert to transfer. Appudu transaction fails and the property revert back to A. Suppose A dies, the property will A heirs will get it. Suppose A doesn't have the heirs, then property goes to yes estate aitadi. Doctrine of estate will come over there. Government estate, the doctrine of estate will come, means government will take it. So now let us see the C condition. What is that C condition? Characteristic of contingent interest. Contingent interest is a transferable. Okay, it can be transferable whether it is heritable or not. చూడండి చెప్పాను నేను, whether it is heritable or not depend upon the nature of and such contingency. Depending upon the nature of the contingency, whether heritable or not heritable we can say, but contingent interest is transferable. కాకపోతే వెస్టెడ్ లో ఏమన్నా మనం, it is transferable as well as హెరిటబుల్ అన్నాము,
heritable.
ఇంద రెండు అన్నాము అక్కడ. సో కాంటింజెంట్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అనేది ఏ విధంగా ఆధారపడి ఉంటుందంటే, ఒక కండిషన్ షుడ్ బి ఫుల్ఫిల్డ్. ద కండిషన్ షుడ్ బి ఫుల్ఫిల్డ్, దెన్ ఓన్లీ వీ కెన్ సే దట్ ఇట్ విల్ బి మేడ్. అయితే 22లో ఏం చెప్పిందంటే, వేర్ ఆన్ ఏ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాపర్టీ, ఓకే, an interest therein is created in favor of such members only of a class as shall attain the particular age. Such interest does not vest in any member of the class who has not attained that age. Suppose అందులో ఏం చెప్పాడు, ఈ చచ్చిపోయిన తర్వాత ఈ ప్రాపర్టీ ఎవరికైతే 18 ఏళ్ళు దాటుతాయో వాళ్ళకే వస్తాయి, మిగతా వాళ్ళకి రావు. వాళ్ళు 18 దాటలే, వాళ్ళకి వస్తుందా?
రాదు సార్.
ఇందులో రాదు. ఎందుకంటే కండిషన్ ఏం చెప్పిండు, 18 ఏళ్ళు దాటితేనే వస్తాయి, లేకుంటే రావు. సో దట్ వాస్ ద థింగ్ విచ్ ఈస్ మేడ్. సచ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ డస్ నాట్ వెస్ట్ ఇన్ ఎనీ మెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ది క్లాస్ హూ హ్యాస్ నాట్ అటైన్డ్ ద ఏజ్. అసలు ఆ ఏజ్కి రాని వాళ్ళకు అసలు ఇది ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ కానే కాదు అంటాడు. సో ఇందులో అది ద ఆన్సర్. మనం ఒక దాంట్లో మనం ఏం చేసినాం, ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఇద్దరికి పోయింది అనుకుందాం సరిసగం. అయితే ఇద్దట్లో ఒక్కరు చచ్చిపోయింది అనుకోండి, ద సర్వైవ్, సపోజ్ సి ఏ డి, ద సి సర్వైవ్స్ అండ్ డి డైస్, then the property goes to C. Suppose if the C dies, then the property goes to the D. Of course, both of them die. Transfer
రిటర్న్ రిటర్న్ వస్తుంది.
is the return back to the transferor.
ట్రాన్స్ఫరర్.
అది మనం చదివాం ఆల్రెడీ. సో that is about the contingent interest. And now the time is 3:38. Still we do have some 18 minutes meanwhile that we will see the unborn child. As unborn child ఏంటిది అనేది చూద్దాం కాసేపు. Then how it can work, unborn child. So now, yes, I will close this one. Then this is the, yes, I will close this one also. Then we'll see what would be the position of an unborn child. So this is the expand, the A, B, C, D. Desktop, computer, data, E. A, B, C, D, it is not expanded. Okay. Then transfer property, unborn child. Yeah, we will see the unborn child. What is the unborn child? It is not known. It says, yeah. Memories, transfer properties. Let us. Okay, we'll see the directly what is there in the unborn child, how the property would be goes to the unborn child. Yeah, unborn. Directly we can go to the unborn child transfer under transfer of property act. Directly we can go it. Yes, it is here given. Section 13 it is clearly given. And what is the section 13 says, we will make it out. Transfer of property to unborn child. Let me see, because tomorrow we will give the in full detail. But now we will see the only curtain riser. Means bird's eye view. The curtain riser. So unborn child is concerned, and I think that you could be in a position to see. Is it or not? Yes? Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Unborn child. A person not in existence has a specific reference to one who may be born in the future but does not have a current existence. Current existence, no. But future existence, okay, there may be. Even though a child in the womb is literally not a person in existence but has been so treated under both the Hindu law and English law discussed elaborately as under. So, a status of the unborn child, it is clearly said, yes, a person would be in existence. There is nothing in the law to prevent a man from owning a property before he is born, and his ownership is necessarily contingent, or indeed for he may never be born at all, but it is none the less are real and present ownership. A child in its mother's womb is for many purposes regarded as by a legal fiction as already born in accordance with the maxim that is nasciturus pro jam nato habitat. I repeat, the accordance with the maxim nasciturus pro jam nato habetur. So, in the words of the coke, the law in many cases hath consideration of him in respect of the apparent expectation of his birth. So, so law will presume it. If a child is not in existence, of course, conception is there, conception is there, and then the fetus and the womb, at that instance we can consider, yes, property can be transferred to him. So, and when it will be transferred, he can enjoy it, again will come, he will enjoy the property at that instance when he attained the age of 18, but the property will be vested when the transaction is took place. That is, the vested interest will begin from the day when the transaction took place. Let us see that that in the law of property there is a fiction that a child in ventrasa mere means it is in living person, that is having a life chosen, no form or part of the period in the rule against the perpetuities. So now we will see that in the New York Appellate Division has recently laid down, of course, obiter the doctrine the child may recover for prenatal injuries. Even a child may recover the prenatal injuries in the sense, suppose if he got injured over there in the abdomen, or in when he is in the womb, in the fetus. At that instance, after getting the birth, if any deformity would be there, he can file a case against the person who has did such an act where he born crippled. So that is the prenatal injuries which is happened over there in the famous case law Nugget versus Brooklyn Height or Company case law. It is said in determining whether a child in ventris amere, a legal person with a capacity for right, is helpful to the examine the treatment accorded him in other determination of the law. So he takes under a device no child means living or born are given at a time. So, living and born are given at a time. This does not, however, involve the recognition of a child in ventrasa mere as a separate existence entity, but is purely a rule of construction based on the ground that such children come within the motive and reason of the gift. So, what I want to convey over here is a child unborn also entitled to transfer the receive the property. Of course, he cannot transfer because he is a child, and a child cannot transfer because to transfer he should be a he should have the all the formality of the contract. Yes, a more accurate statement of the result of the case is that limitation. So that is the limitation is also an important factor imposed by the rule against the perpetuities is 21 years old, 21 years, and lives of the person conceived at the time of the gift plus the period of the gestation of the donee, that is 9 months generally, and that will is revoked by the subsequent marriages of the here, testators, yes, is a testators and the conception of a child after the born alive. So, even the person who is not unborn also entitled for getting the transfer. So, let us see the law of property. There is a fiction that child in ventrasa mere is a person is being for the purpose of. So here we will see the first point, acquisition of property by the child itself. Yes, if the child is born alive, then at least 24 hours he should have to make it alive, then he will be the owner of the property. That is the acquisition of the property by the child itself. Number two, being a life chosen to form a part of the period in the rule of against against perpetuities here. Perpetuities means is a continuity here. Perpetuity means continuity. So that was the thing. So the principle is well settled now. Although the older authorities show some disagreement would be there, but the new law clearly says yes, they are entitled for getting the transfer. So that is the new law. So the basis of the rule is not that a gift to a children, the natural or ordinary meaning of a children is such as to include the posthumous child means, but that in an artificial sense, but be given to the word because the potential existence of such a child places it plainly within the reason and motive of the gift. So this is of course assuming that the donor has not expressed or implied in the document an intention to confine the gift to a children living at the date which the gift takes effect. So now here transfer may be made in the form of a gift also there, but when a person wants to give the gift, naturally conditional gift you cannot give it where the condition will not be there. Means solely that if you have given it, then we will say that there is no contingency and he is the owner of the property and without any gift, without a position should be given over there. If any condition would be there, the gift is not a valid gift. That we use generally learnt it while in the earlier classes. Now the time is 3:45, 48. Still we do have some time in our hand. So if you have any doubt, then you can make it clear. If not, I will throw light on some more point on the unborn child, the transfer, how it can be taken place for that. So, yes, any doubt? Yes, you can ask me. Yes, please unmute and then give me the answer. Anyone? Are you hearing me?
సార్ చెప్పండి సార్ ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఫోన్ వచ్చి
Yes. So you could hear everything or you are not hearing me?
జస్ట్ ఇప్పుడే ఏమంటారు ఏమన్నా డౌట్ ఉంటే అడగమన్నారు లేకుంటే కొన్ని పాయింట్స్ చెప్తా అన్నారు ఆ తర్వాత వెంటనే
అంటే అంతకు ముందుకెళ్ళి వింటున్నారా లేదా అనేది
వింటున్నాను సార్ ఒక ఫోన్ వస్తే కట్ చేసా అంతే జస్ట్ హాఫ్
ఓకే
మినిట్ అంతే
ఓకే బికాజ్ ఐ కుడ్
సార్
నాట్ గెట్ ద
ఇందాక మీరు ఓకే అన్బాన్ చైల్డ్ గురించి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశారు మొత్తం అయిపోయింది టైం అయింది కదా ఏమైనా డౌట్ ఉంటే చేతులెత్తండి లేకుంటే ఇంకొన్ని పాయింట్స్ చెప్తా అని చెప్పారు
Yes, because we do have some, it is 10 minutes with us because I started at the 3:45, 3:15, then 45 minutes class, then ends by 4 o'clock. So now let us see the some time is there. So we can throw light on the section 13 of the Transfer of Property Act reads as follows. Wherein a transfer of the property, an interest therein is created for the benefit of a person not in existence and the date of the transfer, subject to the prior interest created by the same transfer, the interest created for the benefit of such a person shall not take effect unless it extends to the whole of the remaining interest of the transfer in the property. So, whatever the things, one interest should be kept it over there. Later on, entire property should have to be transferred to the next person. So, to the unborn child, not conditional. So, section 13, it gives effect to a general rule that a transfer can be effected only between the living persons. Yes, interest of a marriage, I told you. Yes, there can be a direct transfer to a person who is not in existence or unborn. So there is a direct transfer also can be made it over there, or indirect transfer also can be made. This is the reason why the section 13 uses the expression transfer for the benefit of and not transfer to unborn person. So they did not directly say transfer to unborn person. No, transfer for the benefit of and not transfer to unborn person. So transfer for the benefit of the unborn person, because when the unborn person is not given the birth, at least for the benefit of him, the Property Act will protect him. Yes, a child in the mother's womb is considered to be the competent transferee. Yes, he can entitle to receive the property. So a child in the mother's womb is considered to be the competent transferee. Yes, therefore, the property can be transferred to a child in the mother's womb because the child exists at the time, but not an unborn person who does not even exist in the mother's womb, every transfer of property involves the transfer of interest. So every transfer of property, wherever you read, the transfer of interest should be there. As soon as the property is transferred, yes, the transfer is divested of that interest, and the interest is vested in the transferee for a for vesting the for vesting of the interest. Therefore it is necessary that the transferee must be in existence. So naturally a transferee should be in existence, but in an exception here, he will be in existence and he is entitled to receive the property, provided the point which is given over there is he should be at the time conceived in the mother's womb. That is the point. Otherwise, the interest will remain in abeyance till the transferee come into the existence. So a transferee comes into existence at the time only when the mother delivers the baby. Yes, the baby should be out. So this is against the very concept of interest. Section 13 provides that the property cannot transfer directly to an unborn person, but it can be transferred for the benefit of an unborn person. So, because if you directly transfer, he could not know what to do with that property. So, farmer transfer property for the benefit of the unborn person, two conditions are required to be fulfilled. So, what are the two conditions where a transfer of property will take place and a transferee may be the unborn person? So, number one, prior life interest must be created in favor of a person in existence, nor at the date of the transfer. So, what he said here is prior life interest must be created in favor of the person is existence. If any person on whose name that you want to take this policy, at that instance, the life interest must be created in favor of a person, means he should be in existence. The date of the transfer. Number two, absolute interest must be transferred in favor of unknown person, unborn person. So whenever transfer is taken place, keeping another person in the middle, then if the transfer will not the transfer the entire ownership, then it will the transferee would not get the better title. So absolute interest must be transferred in favor of an unborn person. So unborn person also a person under the section 13. So that is unconditionally should be transferred. So that is the conditions that we will make it out in those things. Now the still we do have the some 4 minutes, 3 minutes, sorry, 6 minutes in our hand, and if you want to ask any other thing, you can ask. If not, let I complete the section 13 completely mechanism. Yes, anyone? Because I can complete it in this unborn child. Yes, let me complete it in the unborn child. The prerequisite for a valid transfer of the proprietary to an unborn child. What are the prerequisites should be necessary for the unborn child? There the property could be transferred. So as per the section 13 provides a mechanism for a specific mechanism for transferring the property validly for the benefit of an unborn person. I said not directly transfer the property to unborn person. No, transfer the benefit of the for the unborn person. The procedure as follows. Number one, the person intending to transfer the property for the benefit of an unborn person should be first create a life estate in favor of a living person, and after it an absolute estate in favor of the unborn person. So before you are transferring it to the unborn person, the benefit, first you have to get a life interest in one of the person. So one A or B or C, at least one life estate which should be created before the property benefit will be gone to the unborn child. Number two, till the person in whose favor life interest is created is alive, he should be alive, means transfer he should be alive. He should hold the position of the property. Yes, he is in such a capacity to hold the property and enjoy the property and its usufruct, whatever it will be, the property is giving. Yes, somebody will take care of it and they will be at the rescue. Yes, this is the second point. The third characteristic is during his lifetime, if the person whose lifetime, during his lifetime, if the person who on the day of the creation of the life estate was unborn is a born, the title of the property would immediately vest in him. but he will get the possession of the property only on the death of the life holder. Of course, the vested interest will come over there, but he will enjoy the property at that instance only. One life interest prior to that one should be completed, then only the benefit could be enjoyed by the unborn person under Section 13 of the Transfer of Property Act. So this is the characteristic of the unborn child, how it can be made, that we have seen. Let us see the one of the example. For instance, A transfer property to B for life, well and good, because there should be first a life estate should be there in the middle before the benefit of the transfer goes to the unborn person. And after him means after B to C means after him to C means B has to die. Then only the property will go to the C. And then to D. Again, if C also dies, then the property goes to the D. Again to D. Again for their lives, and then absolutely to be unborn child, that is UB. So it's, in the meanwhile, BC has come into the picture. Then the D is there. So one lifespan should be definitely put it over there. So now here, A to B is a life interest. Of course, B is life interest. And B's life interest depends upon the life interest of the B. Then the B died over there, the property go to C. Then after the death of the C, the property go to the D. Then after the D, the property goes to the absolute interest, that is, goes to the child. So he is having every right to control the property even though he is a child. On B's death, the position be taken by C, and C's death by D. On D's death, the provisions would go to B's child. So at that instance, the suppose the child dies over there. So that is the same thing will happen here. The position would go to B's child. So the B is having the legal heirs, then it will go to him because still he is there. And who should, I repeat, who should have come in existence by this time. So by the time that the D would be in the mother's home, if it's not there, the property would be revert back to A. Suppose if the property will revert back to A when the existence in the mother's home is not there, means conception has not taken place. Conception has not taken place. That is the idea. So on B's death, the position of the whole C go to the C. Yes, after C death, the position will go to the D, and after D's death, the position would go to B's child, who should have come in existence by this time. Is this if he not there, the property would revert back to A, and if he is alive, the else of his heirs. So if he is alive is there, means the unborn person is alive, would revert, then he is alive, else her to his heirs. Suppose if he is alive, it goes to him, and suppose if he is not alive, then it goes to the to his heirs. So that is the thing which is clearly mentioned in that one. So what is the life interest? One life interest, two life interests. But anyway, minimum one life interest should be there before the property goes to the benefit of the child, not directly to the child. So that is the same thing happened here in the Girish Datta versus Dada Din. A made a gift her property to B for her life, good, and then to her sons, absolutely good. B had no child on the date of execution of a gift. At the time the B doesn't have child, the deed further provided that in case of B had only daughter, then the property would go to such daughters, but only for their life. In case B had no child, then after the death of B, the property was go to absolutely to X. That is the thing which is happened in the case law. So now what I want to say is, even a unborn child also will get the property under the transfer of property, the benefit, but provided that there should be one life should be there, then the property will fall on the unborn child. So that is the thing. Again, here are the given the some of the case law. Safar was the Administrator General of Bengal, and Ardi Sher was Duda Boys. These are the cases, some of them. Let us will throw light on tomorrow's class. The more cases, and we will see the next thing which going to start. So with this, I would like to stop my lecture, and I hope that you followed me. So any doubt is there, you can ask me if you have any doubt. Yes,
No, sir.
yes, yeah. The
No, sir.
point is, tomorrow again I will come with some decided cases. Again I will see how the transfer will take place to the unborn child. And today we just saw a curtain raiser is a glance. Tomorrow I will deal completely with the cases how unborn child will get the means get the benefit of the transfer property. So with this, I would like to stop it, and I
Okay,
will
sir.
see you
Thank you, sir.
tomorrow and inform the other people also. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Then I'm stopping my end of my meeting.